Welcome to MySci Unit 16, Pinball Wizards. This is a third grade physical science unit where students explore force and magnetism through investigations of pinball machines. Let's take a look into the unit at a glance. This unit covers several third grade physical science and engineering standards about planning and conducting investigations around forces and defining a problem that can be solved with scientific ideas. Standards also address creating and evaluating solutions as well as developing a model. 6 of the standards are covered in all dimensions and 1 standard is partially addressed. One of the next generation's science standards corresponds to a Missouri Learning Standard listed in parentheses on this chart. If you'd like, take a moment to pause the video and review them. This unit is divided into 3 sections. Each section has a driving question, designed to reflect what we anticipate students would naturally ask through their learning process. Sections 1 and 2 each include 3 lessons, and Section 3 has 1 lesson. Overall, the unit should take about 23 to 29 days to complete. The anchoring problem is, a carnival is coming, but it's missing a pinball machine. Students will explore what forces are needed to design and engineer a pinball machine. The driving question for Section 1 is, how does a pinball machine work? Students connect to the anchoring problem by investigating the launch device in a pinball machine. Students investigate other games that use force and gather data on how objects move. The section concludes as students plan investigations about the effects of gravity and connect these ideas to their pinball games. Through the storyline in Section 1, students gain an understanding of these standards-based big ideas. Students figure out in order for an object to move, a push or pull or force must act upon it. If an object is not moving, it will not start moving until a force is exerted on it. A force can cause an object to move. Objects in contact exert forces on each other. Students figure out that balanced forces are forces that are equal and opposite in strength and direction. Unbalanced are not equal in either strength or direction and can cause change in motion. Students figure out that gravity is a force that pulls objects down. Section 1 should take about 9 to 11 days to complete. The driving question for Section 2 is, how can we add tricks to our pinball machine? In this section, students connect to the anchoring problem by brainstorming tricks they could add to their pinball machines and investigate magnets. Students will play a game to identify patterns in motion and use those patterns to ask questions and construct an investigation. This section concludes as students use data to identify cause and effect relationships in motion caused by magnetic force. Through the storyline, students gain an understanding of these standards-based big ideas. Students figure out that magnets attract certain types of metal and that they apply a force to pull the metal in. This force can be applied from a distance, making it a non-contact force. Students figure out that the strength of a magnet can be measured through fair test strategies. Magnetic force can be measured by how many materials a magnet can hold. The magnetic force can be made stronger by combining them or by changing the distance between the magnet and an object. And students figure out that the orientation of the magnet affects whether 2 magnets attract or repel each other. Section 2 should take 9 to 12 days to complete. The driving question for Section 3 is, how can we build a pinball machine? In this section, students connect to the anchoring problem by engaging in the engineering design cycle. Students will apply all earlier standards to develop, build, and test a pinball machine with tricks, keeping in mind criteria and constraints. The section concludes as students generate and compare multiple ideas and test their strategies. They end the unit with a pinball carnival and their working machines. Through the storyline, students gain an understanding of this standards-based big idea. Students figure out that their pinball machines must meet the criteria and constraints to be successful, and that the machines can be designed in a variety of ways that use force to make the pinball move. Section 3 should take 5 to 6 days to complete. Our team here at MySci hopes you and your students enjoy Pinball Wizards and engaging in work around these amazing and fun forces. We look forward to your feedback. Happy MySciencing!